Hi, my name is nbanerjee, and today I will be taking you through my working wall process. This project is the fifth part in a series working towards an analytical method to find solution and ways to diffuse a product and its ideas among the people. The earlier parts involved gathering information, analyzing it, considering the dominant paradigms, and creating a persona based on the findings. The fifth part is the working wall, where the information gathered is put on a wall, a different dimension, allowing for further in-depth analysis of all the information at hand. The wall also allows for thoughts to be reinterpreted and the order to be changed in order to find emerging patterns that were probably overlooked earlier. When analyzing the information on the wall, I have referred to books like The Design of Business by Roger Martin, The Inmates Are Running the Asylum by Alan Cooper, and Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore. Taking printouts of the four parts which were worked on earlier in the analytical stages, this information progressed from gathering information to discerning the understanding via varied interviews with riders of different kinds riding different bicycles. I started pasting up the images in an automatically intuitive direction, as I was now already familiar with the information that I had gathered. I began making notes on purple post-its of the major points that spoke to me visually and progressed by adding notes in a linear fashion. This allowed me to see the emerging patterns. I realized through the visual clusters to the right of the working wall that there already existed an active cycling scene which involved leisure riders, few commuters, and professional riders. The scenario from inside the cycling community looked large to the niche riders, but the reality is that it has not yet trickled into the masses. The reality is also that a large portion of the lower income bracket group who do commute daily to work on their budget cycles, which are heavy and without gears, eventually aspire to owning a motorized transport when they can afford it. I forged ahead, adding additional text material, reworking where each is placed on the working wall in a way where the emergent patterns were more visible. Along the way, I continued to add the purple post-its to connect and join the dots. I also made a note of the emerging ideas on other colored post-its in yellow and possible emerging directions for the product in blue. In the process, I also noticed that though there were a lot of cycling events being organized in Bangalore, and one example from Mumbai that I used, the pattern that was emerging was that these events would garner interest and participation around the event from the public. However, this did not translate into regular use of the cycle as a choice of medium to commute. Categorizing the information, I divided my analysis into chunks titled Product, Investigation, Goal-Directed Design, and finally Persona. With the product as the cycle through my working wall, I considered the information in the time frame of the past, present, and the future. I realized that I was following a linear pattern of thinking with goal-directed design, where I followed the process of analysis, visual audit, identifying the dominant persona, and giving these new shape and perspective with the working wall. This eventually led me to working out the hypothetical archetype user who took shape in the persona I built. I was looking at identifying a user, not a buyer alone. I arrived at the understanding of the cycle as a product through chunks of information in the working wall. I realized that the process was attempting a redefinition of the perception of the cycle. It was also changing the profile of the end user of the cycle. The working wall was like illusion art, where initially you seem to be looking at random patterns which don't make sense. When focusing on a point beyond the image, a clear image emerges. It would be apt at this point to describe Roger Martin's knowledge funnel from his book Design of Business, where the information gathered is filtered through a funnel. The process begins with a mystery, a question, and moves on to heuristics or established beliefs which drive the analysis and understanding. This, in turn, leads to further filtration processes leading to the final algorithm providing clarity. Breaking this funnel down further, it begins with the question, which in this case was, how do I look at cycling becoming an inclusive culture? How do I consider ways in which to look at making the cycle a voluntary choice for mode of transport? Heuristics in the next stage of the funnel were based on biases which needed to be eliminated in order to filter the available information. The final algorithm led to creating the persona, an illustration that defines the user of the cycle. In the working wall, it is evident that the persona emerged from an amalgamation of the study in different areas of the cycle as a product. The emergence of the persona took into account a number of factors. Different brands available for cycles in the market, types of users for the different kinds of cycles available, different kinds of users, the weekly and monthly events that were being organized in and around Bangalore city, and the different retailers located at different parts of the city. The emerging persona was young, educated, earning well, considered himself to be a forward thinker, was aware of current situations and trends, and kept himself open to new ideas and challenges. The persona defined the target user, and I considered his compelling reason to buy a cycle. I considered the product itself, as after all, there were so many different kinds of cycles available on the market for different users. I considered the hurdles of bureaucratic procedures that would play a crucial role in the availability of the cycles, and competition with local brands along with pricing and distribution. Finally, I arrived at the positioning which indicated the hybrid cycles as the kind of product that offers the maximum riding comfort, is priced somewhere in between the low-end and high-end bikes, making it comparatively affordable, and the product is suitable for on as well as off-road cycling, suitable for someone who is looking to commute, use, get back onto the saddle after a long time. The hybrid cycle therefore became the target product for the target user. The working wall was an interesting interaction as the layers of information unfolded and offered further clarity through the process of mystery, heuristic, and finally the algorithm via the final persona. Yet again, the stage of the process in the project for our course, Applied Theory in Design, has been an engaging part. Thank you for listening. This is nbanerjee signing out.